Let's move on to main topic number 3, shall we? Rob, what is our third main topic today?
Our third topic comes from Robert Tyleman. Hey, John and Rob, I woke up this morning to find a trailer for a new Pixar movie I'd never even heard of called Turning Red. It looks very Pixar, and that's a good thing. I assume you're going to be excited for it since it looks like it takes place in Canada. What did you think of it? Well, John, I too had never heard of this movie, but I have to say I watched the teaser and I laughed aloud a couple of times. I like the premise seems particularly Pixar. I want to know what's going on, but there's a lot of fun to be had even in the trailer, and you can tell what the premise of the movie's going to be. And I'm like, I want to see it. I mean, it looks perfectly Pixar to me, and in every way. And so I watch this. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Turning Red introduces us to Mai, a young girl in school who, when she realizes her mother has followed her and is spying on her for some reason, gets so stressed out that it causes her to transform into a giant red panda. Well, that would be weird and terrifying enough, except in this case, the red panda also looks to be about 5 times her size. Hey, man, I thought it was funny when she turned into the panda, but even funnier was the exchange between her and her classmate, and it's her classmate who sends her a note and says, "Look, your mom's outside." And
So
like
good.
her mother, who looks like she's Chinese, gets involved in like a Sikh father who's a Sikh, and they're having some argument.
School security.
Outside.
School security.
School security. I mean, it's hilarious, and because if I like Canada, large Sikh population, a large Chinese population, and I thought the whole thing was funny, and I thought it was delightful, and when she turns into that giant super panda, I mean, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. It looked good to me. What about you?
I mean, there's a couple of interesting things about this is that, remember that Pixar short that came out a couple of years ago, Bow, with the thing? Say it's the girl who directed that has now directed this, which is great because Bao was also, Asian themed, also takes place in Canada. That to me is a big thing. It takes place in Canada because the director, she's also Canadian, which is great. So this clearly takes place in Toronto because as, the giant pandas running across the rooftops, you see the CN Tower in the background, which is great.
Yep.
This looked adorable. This looked absolutely adorable. I thought this was wonderful and fantastic. And what's really cool, by the way, Sandra Oh is doing the voice of the mom, which is just too perfect. So
I'm in.
You know what this reminded me of, Rob? Remember this was done a little bit better in Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, but that scene where Miles gets dropped off by his dad at school and his dad gets on the scanner, say, "I love you, Dad." And she's like in front of all his classmates. When she looks over and sees that her mom is outside and just overwhelmed with embarrassment and shame and just wants to hide. And she's got the Canadian shirt on and all that kind of stuff. This is wonderful. Now, look, here's the thing. This movie is not about a little girl that turns into a giant panda any more than, I don't know, than Coco was not about a little boy who plays guitar. That's not what Coco was about. Any more than, a lot of these Pixar movies, the themes always go way beyond what that instant setup looks like. Because when you look at Coco, it's not about a little boy who plays guitar. It's about family and history and appreciating the older generations of our family while they're still here and when they're gone. And that's why Pixar is so magical. This movie is clearly going to be about a relationship between a mother and a daughter, and probably something very complex and something very, complicated and probably something very funny. And the veneer of it is going to be that the little girl also happens to change into a giant panda. If you go back to Bao as well, Rob, if you go back to that short film Bao, the whole thing was, you find out by the end of the short that the whole thing was an analogy about the changing relationship between the mom and the son as he grows up and becomes an adult. That's what Pixar does. And that's what makes Pixar so magical. And so when I'm watching this trailer, understanding that, To me, it just looked like absolute pure magic. I think it's going to be wonderful. This has it has that same feel. It like they say in the email that they sent in themselves. This just feels Pixarian. This just feels like classic Pixar to me, and I, for one, cannot wait to see this. Question is for you guys: did you have a chance to watch the trailer for Turning Red? I thought it was wonderful. It doesn't come out till 2022, so we still got a bit of a wait, which just, to me, makes me wonder, why did they put out this trailer? But it was probably just a trailer to say, hey guys, just so you know, because everybody's saying they never even heard of this. So this is them just dropping something, say, hey, just so you know, we've got this movie coming, and it's coming in early 2022. That's probably what's there. What did you guys think of it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.